Peak Kaizen is here. It's fucking here. This is the first time in the entirety of my anime career that I've ever watched an episode that impressed me so much where I had to research the episode director. The way that they adapted this episode, I'm still in disbelief. After season 1's director Sung-Hoo Park left Studio Mappa in order to start working on his own company, E&H Production, more oriented towards game engines, live shooting, and the VR industry. There's no question though that the work conditions that Mappa puts their employees through is an obvious deterrent towards any incentives of wanting to stay at the company. So when Sota Gosozono, I'm sure I butchered your name, sorry, but when he took over as Sung-Hoo's replacement, fans were skeptical of whether the standard quality at which JJK was held to during season 1 would be translated into season 2 with a new director. A fair question for most viewers, given that we've seen too many anime suffer when handed to a different style of directing. And yet, as hidden inventory / premature death unfolded, our worries were squashed. I mean, let's be for real, Mappa had no choice, because if they butchered the introduction of Toji Fushiguro, the world would riot. And by the world, I mean me. Bringing out an entirely different animation style in the flashbacks of season 2, and in my opinion, a better style than the first season, I could tell that this season was in good hands. And I am so fucking sorry, Sota, for ever doubting you, because this latest episode of Jujutsu Kaisen blew my mind. The episode begins with Yuji running towards the station, passing many transfigured humans, recognizing the damage that's already been done, giving him an even greater sense of urgency to make it to Gojo Sensei. Well, side tangent, but am I the only nigga who uses sensei whenever referring to Gojo as if I know him? Well, guess what? I'll never stop, cause it's Gojo.
Oh my god, bro, is dick riding all you do?
Once again, Yuji's fragile heart isn't able to stomach the reality of having to kill innocent humans. Jumping into the station, like literally jumping into the station, we arrive at our first piece of beautiful storytelling off of pure emotions and reactions. Choso sees someone jump into the station, thinking nothing of it, just another enemy he needs to fight. But right as Choso realizes it's Yuji by seeing his face, his expression immediately changes to a scowl of vengeance. Having such a deep love for his brothers, being the only thing they live for were each other. Just the sight of Yuji, the one who killed his brothers, is enough to have him see only red. No pun intended, you get it? Blood? My bad. Let's move on. One of the most beautiful parts of this arc to me are the moments when the narrator comes in to explain the techniques. Yoshiko Sakakibara's tone and rhythm are so smooth and done so well as a VA. Shout out to her for real. The fight begins, and Yuji has already taken heavy damage with a hole in his left arm. Choso then asks Yuji a question.
最後に何か言い残したか。お前たちが殺した2人の話だ。別に、でも泣いてたよ。
Yuji's response to Choso's question shocks him, whether it's because he didn't expect Yuji to actually answer the question, or because Yuji's answer was so far off from what he expected it to be. But either way, Yuji's response was enough to trigger Choso to an even greater level of power. And, well, Choso was absolutely demolishing Yuji. So after Yuji gets banged on by Choso for a few minutes, they square back up in the same exact position. This shit is so cold. Choso keeping his distance since that's where his advantage is at. This is one of many moments in the fight that shows how beautifully choreographed this fight is. And so the fight goes on, and Yuji is back into a corner, realizing how strong his opponent is. Luckily, Mekamaru comes to his aid and has info on Choso and his techniques. And this is where I think one of the coolest scenes of the fight happens. As he's explaining the techniques, the camera pans across the screen to Shibuya Station with an image of the technique and the name of the technique. To me, it's the little things that really make fights like these worth rewatching. It puts to use the color dynamics and the realism of the environment, and just makes me recognize how well used they are. Moving on in the fight, Mekamaru tells Yuji to flee to the bathroom since he has a plan. And once again, the animation even in the transitions of the fight are insane. Choso shoots his piercing blood technique, and as he's firing, he creates a little ripple in the beam of the blood. The camera then goes to his POV, and it's just a 2D circle, but then, shown from a 3D perspective, it cuts from the somewhat shape of a sphere. I'm hard.
What?
I swear, bro, it's the little things in this fight that get me the most excited. But yeah, Yuji goes into the bathroom and Choso follows, knowing it's some sort of trap, and he falls right into it, not being able to use any sort of blood manipulation due to the water that was spraying in the bathroom. He then uses flowing red scale, stack, a move we've seen used by third year Noritoshi Kamo, who also uses blood manipulation. And then Yuji and Choso stand off. chills. Holy shit, the choreography and animation of this fight is insane. But as it seems like Yuji has the upper hand, Choso was able to keep a blood clot, protect it from dissolving, and fires it, taking out Yuji's liver. And about 0.1 seconds after he took the lethal attack of Blood Meteorite, Yuji gets back into stance. How the fuck? He understands what his role is in the mission of rescuing Gojo. It's to stop the man in front of him, Choso. I love Yuji, bro. The amount of chills rushing through me at this point in the fight has to be unhealthy. Rock hard.
What?
Obviously, Yuji is damaged beyond repair, but Choso has also taken some damage, in a mere total of 3 hits that he's taken. And it's because of this damage that Choso goes all out. Toe to toe, hand to hand, they square up for the final bout. And when the fighting begins, it seems that Yuji has the upper hand when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, but when he goes to land the final blow, Choso has hardened his body with blood manipulation and finished off Yuji. But going in to kill Yuji, he gets a flashback with his 2 other brothers and Yuji sitting at the table. And then Yuji calls Choso brother. From the amazing choreography that went into the entire fight, every single sequence in this fight planned out to a T, to the animation that seemed as if it was made on the budget of a multi-million-dollar movie, to even the changing of OSTs during the fight, this fight was a masterpiece all the way through and easily a top 5 episode in the entire series. And the best part is, this isn't even the best fight in the arc. If y'all enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Not gonna lie, I'm sick as fuck right now, but I really wanted to get this video out. I'm sure you can tell by how my voice sounds right now. But leave a comment letting me know what fight you're looking forward to getting animated next. And with that, peace y'all.